Nevada is one win away from a CBI championship. This after the Wolfpack topped Morehead State 77-68 on Wednesday night to force a third and decisive game in the best-of-3 championship series on Friday night. Nevada is one of only 8 teams in the country still playing at this point of the season, and they're after their first ever postseason championship. Kind enough to join us here on the Mountain West Network is the head coach of the Wolfpack, Eric Musselman. Coach, appreciate you making some time for us. This series with Morehead State has been high energy, fast-paced, and downright physical. How in this winner-take-all championship game do you hope to control your guys' emotions?
Well, Jesse, thanks so much for having me on. I mean, I think that our guys are looking forward to a Game 3, and obviously what makes this so unique is to play in a series-type format, and therefore, Game 1, pretty physical, Game 2, extremely physical, and then who knows how Game 3 will be, but both teams are starting to figure out each other's strengths and weaknesses and try to take those things away. But we have to be a well-composed basketball team in order to win. We can't let our emotions get the best of us.
Certainly there was a lot of emotion in the Lawler Event Center. Over 7,400 people packed the gym to watch you guys play Game 2. Third largest crowd of the season for you guys at home and the largest CBI crowd in about 5 years. How big has that home court advantage been for you guys down the stretch? And certainly, how big was it on Wednesday and heading into Friday night?
Well, Wednesday's crowd was phenomenal. We had 3 really good home crowds the first 3 games of the CBI tournament. And then when we go on the road and come back home to see the type of people in attendance that we had on Wednesday night was great. And we expect an even bigger crowd here Friday. And to be able to do it on a national platform is great for our program, great for the Mountain West Conference.
No question, you guys are 9-0 against non-conference teams at home. You've also played 37 games this season right now, which is a school record. And I look at what Fresno State did a couple of years ago, advancing to the CBI finals, and where that really propelled them to this season, win a Mountain West tournament championship and also get to the NCAA tournament. Do you look at that case study with Fresno State and say, that can be us in a couple of years?
There's no question that before we even played a game in the CBI, what we did is we talked about what Coach Rodney Terry had done with this Fresno State team. We used that to try to get our guys a little bit energized. Our players were disappointed that we weren't able to make the NCAA tournament, and then realistically, we came up a little bit short, obviously, for the NIT, which we knew going into Selection Sunday that we were not going to be a part of those 2 premier postseason, but we had to get our guys motivated. We also talked about VCU propelling themselves into a Final Four after winning the CBI. So there's a lot of great examples for how teams can use this to kickstart. But without a question, Fresno State and what Coach Terry has done was something that springboarded our attitudes going into this.
You can certainly get those young kids more reps, and I look at a guy like Cameron Oliver, 93 blocks this season, second all-time in Nevada history. He passed JaVale McGee. He's 3 short of the school record. How great has he been down the stretch? And really, he matured before our very eyes in conference season and now into the postseason.
I think with Cam, he wasn't quite sure how great he could be, and I think he had a couple really big Mountain West conference games, and that propelled him from a confidence standpoint. And then he really took off in our first 3 CBI games, and Morehead's done a good job of trying to get him into foul trouble. Having said that, when we talked with our athletic director, Doug Newth, on what's our philosophy of this CBI, it was to send our seniors out on a positive note, and then to get our experience for 4 players that will be returners, 2 freshmen in Drew and Oliver. DJ Fenner will be a senior going into next season, and then Elijah Foster. So it was really important that we got those young guys postseason experience.
Yeah, Cameron Oliver scored in double figures in 10 of the last 12 games. He's been fantastic. You mentioned those seniors, talking about Marquise Coleman and Tyron Criswell. They've been a lot to your success this season, both in production but also leadership. You see Coleman playing hurt down the stretch, and then, of course, Criswell had a remarkable game in the CBI that really lifted you to a win.
No, both those seniors, anytime there's a coaching change, the first thing you worry about is, how are guys that have been here for a long period of time, are they going to let you coach them? Because really, in reality, with today's athletes, it's all about buy-in, and it started with those 2 guys early in the summer in the process in August of them totally buying in, 2 feet in, not kind of, looking at this from a distance, And those guys have been such a pleasure to coach. And the saddest thing about Friday at about 8:30 p.m. Pacific is that's the last time I'm going to have an opportunity to coach those two fine young men who've given us everything that they could this year.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. I know you got some practice to get to and get those fellows ready for what should be a fantastic atmosphere at the Lawler Event Center on Friday night.
No, we're really looking forward to the game Friday, Jesse. Thanks so much for having me on, and hopefully we'll represent the conference in the right way.
We know you will. Thanks, Coach. You can watch Nevada battle Morehead State in the CBI Championship Final on Friday night, 6 o'clock Pacific time, live from the Lawler Event Center on ESPNU. The Wolfpack have a chance to become the first men's basketball team from the Mountain West to win a postseason tournament championship. From the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Jesse Kurtz.